All right.
Don't make funny faces.
Okay.
All right. So thank you for joining us, John.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
You are my first guest for my Sunday show. It's called Sunday with Cyn Dulay.
It's an honor to be the first guest on the couch.
Yes. So tell me, John, 2013, I'm sure everybody made, resolutions or plans or goals for acting. What are your goals for 2013?
Well, it just sort of get myself back out there. Now, the big thing with me is I don't really make resolutions because I don't really believe in a resolution part of it, because I think it's all about an evolution. Okay, so it's time for me to evolve into the next level for my film career is really what it is. I've never really pushed my film career, and I've got that feel. I've got that bite right now to move it forward. I moved out of the theater circle, and I've been struggling trying to find how I was going to make the transition between, one world to the next, and somehow it seems like it's coming together, and I don't even know how that transition worked. I'm sorry. I've been here since 2005.
Oh, 2005. So
Yeah, I remember because I was on the road before.
okay, what did you do before you started getting into film? Is this your first time? Yellow Hill, was that your first film?
No, I did some films when I lived in the Milwaukee area. Actually, I did a SAG project that all my scenes got cut out, which I don't know. You sort of wonder if you should actually be using that as a credit, but that's my ticket into SAG, interestingly enough. But did some smaller stuff, did some industrial film,
In Chicago.
yeah, in Milwaukee first.
Okay.
And then I ended up actually going on the road for a while and doing my theater thing. And
How long did you do that for?
well, I lived out of a suitcase for 2 years, but that's just living out of a suitcase. That doesn't count the years of just being sort of stationary in the city and working the theater circuit there. I was in Milwaukee for feels like 100 years or so, But what happened when I was on the road is I had the opportunity to venture into some other areas. I modeled once.
Did you?
Which was actually sort of a weird situation.
That's so weird because I started in modeling as well
See,
when I first started in the business.
for a guy and for somebody who is, in his
you had the
mid-30s, I didn't know if I had the look. It was just I got roped into a job and
Well, you were testing the waters.
yeah, and it was really fun because it was so uncomfortable because I've never usually when I'm my acting, I have the luxury of hiding behind a character where you're representing a character, not necessarily just that has traits of your own, but here I was just me. I mean, I wasn't playing a character; it was just being me. And to get that type of attention was a really odd feeling for me, and it made me feel really uncomfortable. But I did it, and it was sort of interesting. And then I did some voiceover work for a project that. Couple projects, and because of different different voices and different
How many years
accents
ago?
Oh man, this has got to be probably 7 years ago now.
Okay.
When I came to Chicago, I was mainly pushing just the theater thing. That's all I wanted to do.
Is that what made you come here to Chicago for
Yeah,
theater?
yeah. As a matter of fact, I was just finishing up tours out on the East Coast, and was presented with an offer to come do a show in Chicago, and it was either New York or Chicago. That's what I had decided, and it ended up Chicago because they
And you've
struck
been here
first.
ever since.
I've been here ever since. Yeah, I gotta say, I sort of backed out of the theater circle for a little bit. I was up for a show with the Goodman, and made it through callbacks, and then I didn't get the role, and it was just one of those things that was really for the first time in my life, I was really hit hard on not getting a role. Usually it bothered me just like it bothers anybody, but that one stung really hard for some reason.
But Goodman is a very prestigious, theater. So
Yeah.
for you to be considered for that, that's an accomplishment in itself.
Well, yes, but having been able to touch stages that worked on stages, working with the people that have worked at that caliber before, it was a matter of going back to a level where I had the opportunity before. And I think that's what was such a letdown, was that I didn't get the opportunity, that
And
I didn't get back
after
to that.
What did you do after you didn't get that opportunity?
Well, I felt sorry for myself for a while. Just think like about it.
Did you go
It's a
into
mice.
film after that?
No, I stayed with the theater thing for a while, and I was doing mostly original productions, and then I thought, well, I'll let me touch a little bit in the film, because that's really where I wanted to make the transition. That was one of the reasons I moved to Chicago, and ended up doing, I think, a couple student films, and did my some artsy.
Film.
Artsy, yeah. I guess you could say that. It was a bit of a concept film, very artsy. And
Oh, actually, I saw that.
yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it make you feel a little uncomfortable by watching it, but nonetheless, it was it's just one of those where it was okay. So.
From Milwaukee to Chicago, what do you think about theater and film here in Chicago versus Milwaukee? Is there more opportunity, in theater there than here, or vice versa? Or
Yes and no. I mean, the circle's smaller in Milwaukee, so it's sort of easier to get your name passed around, and it's easier to get work in some ways, because everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The theater circle in Chicago is, of course, larger, and it's you do end up knowing a lot of the same people, but there's still a lot more people to meet. A lot of, and everybody comes to Chicago to try to break into the theater scene here. Chicago's got one of the biggest theater scenes in the country, and a lot of independent theaters, a lot of original work being done here. So everybody tries to make a move here. You can fall out of the circle pretty quick here. You really can if you're not active enough. But at the same time, you can get back into it pretty quick too.
Would you ever consider moving to New York if you're pursuing theater? Because there's a lot of films going on there now. Also, would you ever consider moving to New York?
I would. I think if I moved to New York, I'd just sign into the unions right away, because I'd be definitely looking for union work and needing union work, and there's a lot more union work there than here, and that's one of the reasons I haven't joined the unions. But yeah, I'd consider it.
Are you SAG eligible then? Or?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
SAG
good.
eligible, and I'm equity eligible.
Okay. Do you have currently an agent for film or theater?
No, I don't.
So you're looking.
Yeah, it was one of those where when I lived in Milwaukee, I had a couple agents. I got some work. I actually had an agent in Chicago here for a while, but sort of moved out of it, and moved around a lot, so I didn't get the work. So I sort of let that sort of lapse. And because I haven't done a lot of film here, I haven't really pursued the agents.
Okay.
But it's something I want to do this year.
So this year definitely will be your film year. So I know that you recently finished, we recently finished Yellow Hill. How was that for you to go back into film? What do you think about that?
I had so much fun on that film project that it's sort of hard to call it work to some degree, because I think I was having more fun than probably anybody there.
What was your most memorable moment?
You know what? My most memorable moment of that was the fact that the cats didn't like me in South Dakota. I think I was sort of devastated by that, because I've never had a problem with animals before. And I wanted this cat for this scene. I thought it would be a really cool thing. And none of the cats liked me. And that
they
hurt.
were wildcats, right?
I know that, but that still hurt. It still bothered me a little bit, because I've never had that problem with animals. It's usually animals and kids I do really
What
well
did
with.
Russ, the director, say when you wanted to put the cat in his film?
I think he thought I was joking. I don't think he took me serious, and I don't think he thought it was a good idea. I don't know, but it didn't work out that way because I couldn't
we
take
don't
a
have a
wildcat.
cat wrangler.
Yeah, there would have been another
can't sign
production
an
credit we had to get, and we couldn't get the
Release
cats
form.
to sign a waiver. So maybe it was a good thing.
So tell me, when you were shooting Yellow Hill, this is a Western drama, period piece. What did you like about the actual script, the actual movie, when you're shooting it?
Well, I think the concept of it I really fell in love with. I like the idea of this mysterious stranger. I think that's the first story that's always going to work, and it's one I love, that little mystery where you don't quite know. I also like the idea of sometimes being the bad boy, being the bad guy. That I don't know, for some reason it seems to fit me well, and maybe because I'm sort of like a non-violent person in real life, that I fit into these kind of characters on film for some reason. I have no idea, but no, I like the concept. I like the idea of a Western to begin with because I grew up on them. My dad was a big Westerns fan. I can name I don't know how many different types of Westerns that I've seen, and this was just a unique pitch on one that I think was that can work.
You've done so many different things in the entertainment industry. One thing that I really wanted to
I've never had a
base
band.
on,
I'm sorry.
I think you should be in the band too. In your bucket list, put that in your bucket
Yeah,
list. You
my
get
guitar goes
rock
up
and
to
roll.
11. I know that much.
Exactly.
So.
I know you have a lot of swords and guns
Yeah,
and everything.
I have guitars too.
You do?
I don't play.
Oh, then you have to. One thing that I want to ask you about is when you were working with Renaissance Fair in Bristol, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I got involved with that through a friend of mine, an actress who thought I would have a good time with that, and she knows how I am about trying new acting experiences. So she lined up an audition for me because I had already missed auditions, and I ended up auditioning at an event they were using to promote the the Bristol Renaissance Fair. Mm-hmm. So I ended up auditioning in the basement of the Domes in Milwaukee, which is, they have all the plants and all that kind of stuff there. So it was sort of an awkward situation. And I didn't have any material, but yet they wanted me to go work the crowd. Mm-hmm. So
how do you audition for something like that?
I don't know. I don't know how to prepare for it. I just went out and basically started just improvising. And one of the first things I came up with was a bit where I was selling nothing. And I think that's from a Mel Brooks movie, History of the World or something like that, where they have a stand that says, "I've got nothing to sell." Well, I took it and turned it into a bit that sort of followed me around for like 12 years now. But I don't know. Do you want me to do it in character?
How long did you?
I started in 2000.
Okay. And how long did you do that for?
Well, at least 10, 11 years. The last couple of years I haven't done it, but
with Renaissance Fair, you were with them that long?
Yeah.
You
Only
must
on
have
a
really
part-time
enjoyed
basis. It was a lot of fun because there's no experience like it, and it was a great acting experience because I was a solo performer. I couldn't rely on anybody else, and basically it was a true interaction with the crowd. I wrote bits for myself and things like that, but it was a weird experiment in psychology and sociology in some ways, because I wanted to see what kind of reactions I would get based on different things that I did.
So you wrote your own materials?
Oh yeah, I definitely wrote my own. Like the nothing bit, it ended up being actually pretty popular, and I got known as the nothing guy. So, it's like I have a great deal of nothing. I have more nothing than anyone here. In fact, if you ask anyone here, they'll tell you that I have nothing. if you wish to purchase nothing, I can simply sell you nothing, but I wish to get something for nothing, understand? Now, if in order to get something for nothing, you must purchase nothing from me. For a small bit of something, I will give you nothing. But keep in mind, you can also get what for free. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying what for free? I'm saying yes, of course, but I don't carry what. You need to see someone about what. It works as such. If you buy nothing from me for a small bit of something, and you take this nothing and you show someone would surely give you what, if not what for? Free. Thus, you would have what for nothing. Now, keep in mind, I also have a free moment. Now, I will take anything for a free moment, but I must have something for nothing because I have standards. And then I would add, every year it seems like I would add something to it, so I would add neither or neither. So I had neither for sale. So I was selling nothing and had to get something, but I also was selling free moments for anything. And you would get what for free with nothing if you gave me something. But I also made neither available because that's what my patrons wanted, was neither.
How long is your performance for in one day?
One day you start off at 10 in the morning and you end at 7 at night.
Wow.
And
it's a 9-hour.
Yeah, it's a long day. And I mean, you take little breaks in there and things like that. But sometimes you're so exhausted that you want to go take a nap during the day because it really wears you out. But some days where you're just flowing, where everything is working so right that you just don't want to come off the field.
Did you work on weekends? Or?
Oh yeah, it was all weekends things.
Okay.
I made a cart that I make people pull me around, and I sell nothing from my cart. I was the Renaissance version of the homeless guy with a shopping cart. Is really what I was. So, and that's how I sort of framed myself.
That's great.
And I play a character who his name is Halfpenny Spittlesack, the Earl of Bedlam, and he basically puts himself in any level of society, and society at that particular.
Did you create this character?
Yeah. I went to. They had started schools and they had classes there, and I had started the second week. So my first week of class was their second week of class. And basically people already had ideas for characters and things like that. And I had no idea. I just sort of wanted to play this really simple guy that took everything literally and, didn't have a lot. And
that's interesting.
Whatever.
I didn't know that you did all that. Are there any prep work before you perform every weekend? Do you have to rehearse or anything like that?
The rehearsals, because I'm sort of my own show. I mean, I would write different, try to come up with different bits every week was really the goal. And sometimes I would make new props because my character is very prop heavy, but a lot of it is just window dressing. It's just to get someone's attention.
Do people film you when you're performing?
It happens.
Is it allowed?
It's allowed, but like I've only seen one video of my character on YouTube, and really it's because it's sort of a thing where a lot of characters don't like their material thrown out there because they're afraid somebody's going to rip them off.
Not just that, it's your performance is going to be seen, so there's no surprise.
Right. And I mean that's with my character, it worked out. It's fine. I can change my material enough. I'm sure someone out there is maybe trying to do my material. I don't know for certain, but go for it.
But it worked, right? But it worked you did this for 10, 12 years? So when did you when did you decide that you want to move on from Ren Fair, that you wanted to go into film now and concentrate on that?
Well, it's been something I've wanted for quite a while, and as a matter of fact, one of the reasons that I could never do a full season of Ren Fair was either I had a film or I had a play that I was doing during that period. I think it's just a time of you feel like you've finally grown into an area that you want to pursue a little bit harder. I've never really reached my goals on the commercial end of my acting. I'm happy with what I've done theatrically. I'm very happy. I've had a good life theatrically.
Yeah, but you've done that time to move on, right? So
yeah, to some degree, and I've got as far as the way that I, picture myself or the way I want to market myself, I don't think I look like the typical 48-year-old.
You don't look like you're 48.
Well, that's what some people say.
Yeah. So that's really good though, that you could look younger. You could look 20 years for a role younger.
Well, yeah, but it's also too that I know with the film it really allows me to look my age, which is sort of a nice thing for me now, because I've always played younger. It seems like every theater production I've done was, it's always for a younger role. And now being at this age is finally, I just feel comfortable playing the 48-year-old, middle-aged guy, and this is who I am, and I'm comfortable with who I am, and I think there's just certain things. I know that I have sort of a niche market on the way that I look and the way that I come across, but I think I can make something of that.
What types of roles is most desirable to you as an actor?
I gotta say that I love doing anything comedic, but people don't really see that I'm funny. I mean, I don't get hired for my comedy skills, and I think I'm funny.
So
I think I'm funnier,
are you
but
hired more for dramatic roles?
Yeah, I'm definitely
bad
hired
guy,
more for
good guy.
Definitely a bad guy. I'm always
somebody opposite your personality. Then it's like
I'm good at being evil. I'm just good at it, and it's I hate to say this, but there's something that is a lot more fun playing the bad guy. It's a lot sexier. I mean, it's because there's so much so many bad things you can do, and bad boy, everybody likes a bad boy. Let's face it, everybody likes a bad boy. But ideally, I don't mind playing those kind of roles. I would like to do more comedy though.
You would?
Yeah, I would. Just because maybe I'm the only one who thinks I'm funny, but as far as directors and casting directors, no one sees me as. They always see me as very serious and very dramatic.
Then what?
Well, I know that I'm, I have to put together a new marketing package for one thing. I mean, I've always been pretty good about having a decent marketing package, even for my theatrical side. So I need to get a new one. I gained a little weight, and my looks changed.
For the role.
Yeah, my looks changed a little bit, and so they're gonna start off with new photos and things. I gotta put my reel together. I've got a few things that I can use for a reel, and just really sort of shopping myself and putting myself out there is really what it is. Something that I really haven't done before. So they're gonna start off with new photos and things. I gotta put my reel together. I've got a few things that I can use for a reel. And just really sort of shopping myself and putting myself out there is really what it is. Something that I really haven't done before. When it comes to some of those, trying to get working with an agent or things like that, I seem to always try to do it my own way.
Well, in this industry, you not only, even if you have an agent, you still have to go out there and hustle and look for things yourself. But do you see yourself doing big studio films and being in a supporting role, lead role? Where are you in that?
I'm definitely a supporting actor. I'm more of a character actor than I am anything else. Again, it's I don't look at a supporting character or supporting role as lesser than a lead. To me, it's to me it's meatier. I think there's more there because you've got less time to sort of make your presence known, and I think it's a bigger challenge in that respect, and it allows me to work stronger on the character and worry less about dialogue and making sure that the left side or the right side is being filmed well. I don't care how I look necessarily. I mean, let's put it this way. Because I don't have to worry about being the lead, I don't have to worry about being pretty. I mean, there's a sense to that. So I don't mind being dirty. I don't mind being seen as ugly. I don't mind let the flaws come out, because to me that adds to the character, and that's part of me. That's part of who I am.
Let's talk about your acting style, or how. I know that every actor is an individual, and you want to be recognized for individuality and your style. However, if you would compare yourself to the actors that have been around, who would you resemble in the industry? Your acting capacity, your intensity, in comedy and in drama.
Wow.
Who would be your best pick?
That's hard, because there's so many actors that I really like. I don't want to say respect, because I have a large respect for all actors, but there's certain things that I see a lot of different actors that offer, and sometimes I can't put my finger on it. Like Paul Newman, there's something about Paul Newman that it's like I want that it factor, and to me it's always that it's an it factor. Sometimes it's undescribable. Do I have that? Sometimes I would like to say yes, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I can identify.
I really think you do. I've worked with you in Yellow Hill, and you're playing a dramatic role, a bad guy. But behind the scenes, I could see how your natural ability in comedy is there.
I think the thing is being seen as a dramatic actor for so long, and especially character actor, where the opportunity would come in to do something comedic would be really nice. But we'll see.
Great. And we're going to take a short minute break, and we will be right back. So, John, changing things up a little bit, since we've talked about your career in the entertainment industry as an actor in theater and film and live performances, let's talk about something more personal, more nice and lighthearted, so people will get to know you.
Sure, good reason to move by the fire.
Yeah, exactly. It's dramatic,
it's obvious, yeah.
So tell me, since you moved to Chicago, how do you find women here versus where you've lived?
Untouchable.
Untouchable.
I mean, if I could have an imaginary girlfriend, I think it would be better. No, I don't know. It's, the other thing, part of it is getting older and meeting someone. When I was a lot busier in theater, that was part of my social scene. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily that I was dating the people that I was working with, but generally, my last girlfriend, I met her through a production that I was doing. Mm-hmm. She wasn't an actress, but I met her through the production. So, that's one way of meeting somebody. When you sort of lose that social circle, you just,
When do you find the time, though, to find someone if you're busy?
Well, that becomes a problem in any kind of relationship. I mean, it did definitely when in my previous relationship, and there was only like maybe twice that I actually dated somebody that was in the actually in the business, so they understood a little bit more. But it always seems to be a problem.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you have someone, a significant other now in your relationship? Or are you in the market?
I'm in the market. I'm it's one of those things where I reached a time in my life, and I had the experience of being a pseudo father for a while, and that obviously that didn't work out. But I don't have any kids of my own, so right now I'm looking for someone to carry my baby. Is really what it is. To
carry your baby?
Yes, and then
are there marriage involved in carrying this baby?
If she wants, we could probably work something out. But I'm more interested in just the baby part of it, because I think that could definitely work out.
So you could carry on your name? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm the last one. I'm the last one.
How do you know you're the last one?
There's nobody's admitting to being a part of my family after me and carrying on my name. So
is that your real name, John Walski?
Yes, it is. Okay. As a matter of fact, and it's actually I started doing a little bit of a family tree, And I realized how common it was in my family, because my full name is John Alois Walski. And my
Alois?
dad... Alois. Yes.
Alois? Spell that.
A-L-O-I-S.
A-L-O-I-S. Okay.
And my dad was Alois John Walski.
Alois. Are you...
Alois Walski.
Okay.
And I'm John Alois. And he was Alois John. I know it's confusing, but stick with me on this. And so my grandfather...
Very inventive.
Yeah, I know. My family was original. And I was named after John Kennedy.
Really?
Yes. And then my grandfather's name was John Walski. And my great-grandfather's name was John Walski.
So there's no second, third, junior, senior kind of thing. They just named you with John Walski straight.
Yeah. And then I think it was even my great-great-grandfather, I think, was a John Walski. So I guess what I'm saying is John Walski seems to be a popular name in my family tree.
Okay.
And around that period, you know, through the 1800s or so, as far as...
Is that when they came here?
Yeah, well, some of them did, yeah.
Where did they come from?
Poland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you 100% Polish?
That I know of so far. Yeah.
Okay. Do you speak Polish?
No.
Why not?
Well, because my family, when I was growing up, my mom and dad could only talk about important issues if they spoke in Polish.
Okay.
And then this way, the kids didn't know what was going on.
They could talk about you and you're not knowing it.
Exactly. You know, and I don't speak any language besides English, but I did learn to swear in Spanish.
Oh, that's good.
For a while.
That's very helpful.
Sort of
like, you know, if you're playing an acting role, and
or driving in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah.
It's necessary.
So, do you have siblings?
Yes, I do. I have 2 sisters and a brother. And my brother's down in Texas, and I've got my 2 sisters in Wisconsin. And then there's...
Wisconsin. So, are you from Wisconsin originally?
Originally, I'm from Wisconsin,
okay.
Just north of Green Bay. So, I am a cheesehead, and I do enjoy cheese.
Do you like the Packers?
Yes, I've always liked sports. I was one of those guys who... I played... I was sort of a jock and a theater person in high school, which was sort of a rare breed. Yeah, but I was totally accepted because I think I was a bit of a partier too. So it's like I didn't.
So both sides of your brains were working all the time.
Well, you know, depending on how much I was partying too, because it didn't necessarily
Sometimes
work.
It doesn't work
at all. But you know, it was. I don't know. I was pretty much accepted to do that, and I don't know. I know that's sort of a rare thing.
So what made you choose between athletics and creative arts?
As a matter of fact, it was a coach that wouldn't let me start a baseball game, because I had earned the right to go to state forensics, and
interesting.
Yeah, and he said because I wasn't going to be at practice. Before the Friday practice, because I was going to state for something that I earned, that I couldn't start the game on Tuesday.
What game were you playing?
I was playing baseball. I was a second baseman, and it pissed me off. Is really what it did.
So that's when you decided to become an actor.
Well, I was already doing some acting, but the other thing is too, I was always small. I knew that I wasn't going to have an athletic career.
But you don't need to be tall to play baseball.
No, but you need to get a little bit past 135 pounds.
So you need
a little
some
muscle,
weight.
And you know, and I just wasn't getting there. I just couldn't.
Maybe you're a late bloomer.
Wow, talk about a late bloomer, because it took me until my late 40s to actually gain weight. So I guess that's pretty late.
Well, what is your secret? Why do you look so young? You look like you're 20 years younger than me.
You know, it's all filters on the camera.
Is it really? That's too bad we don't have filters.
Yeah.
Is it Shiseido? What do you use? Like, you know, what is your daily regimen for your face?
My daily regimen for my face is whatever soap that I happen to be using.
You know, soap is not good for you, right?
I know, but it seems to work.
Okay.
Obviously, because if I'm looking younger than what
Do you use moisturizers?
No, I don't. Only I used to.
What?
I don't. You know, the thing is, I had a girlfriend that got me into. It was a product called Skin Milk, and it was probably the I don't know. It was the coolest thing. Now I can't find it anywhere, But
Skin milk sounds like it's from the 80s.
no, it wasn't. And anyway, when her and I were dating, it just became part of the routine, and she was actually, her and I would go run together, and she would run 3.5 miles and I'd run a mile because that's all I could do. And but we just put this in our routine, and then I kept it up, and then moved to Chicago, and it just didn't work out for me. So,
but your skin looks great.
I don't know about that. I don't know. It's one of those deals where you, as you start getting older, you start noticing things, and I noticed that I'm looking a lot like my father, and there's certain.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't mind it. My dad is my total hero, so it's all good for me. But the thing is, I noticed that there's I'm going to point out flaws because I don't.
They're not flaws. They're called character lines.
Well, I don't know. We could call them flaws because there's like there's age coloring, like starting with my temples.
Yeah, that's
and
called
they're exactly like
freckles.
They're like
discoloration.
Yeah,
pigmentation.
And they're actually just like my dad's.
Well,
in the same general areas.
So, as an actor, do you care a lot about how you look, or you like for your age to show on camera?
Well, I like the idea of looking normal. I mean, just looking, seeing that there are, there's not perfection, and the fact that.
So you wouldn't go under the knife or go get Botox or anything like that.
No, not for me. I'm not.
That's not your style.
That's not what I need. I don't really care if my hair is messy, half the time. Through my theater career, I didn't own my hair. You know what I mean? You signed a contract with somebody. They told you how your hair was going to be. They told you, what you were going to do with your facial hair. And so it just,
I like your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Who does your hair?
I can't give out her name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to give her business, basically.
I do, but I don't want to get her
secret.
name right.
Oh, okay. How often do you have to get your hair cut because it's long? So, are you
I
growing
go
it
maybe
longer?
three times a year.
That's it?
Maybe 4.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't it terrible?
That's less maintenance on women. We have to go every 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to go that often, but
Well, if it works for you, though.
I don't know if it works for me. I just don't care.
Have you ever thought about dyeing your hair like different colors, like black and blonde?
Well, not black because
it depends what kind of role you're playing.
Yeah, but I'm getting to that age where I don't want to look like what's the guy from Harry Potter, Snipe or whatever his name is?
I don't know.
But anyway, I can't look goth. I can't look goth, at this age. Just
unless you have to play a role of a goth, then.
Yeah,
then
that'd be like the world's oldest goth.
Oh my God.
Because they're typically teenagers. But
if you're old, I'm ancient.
I usually have highlights, things going.
So you do get highlights.
Yeah. I mean, there is some vanity in there, but generally, I don't mind my hair being messy. I don't mind.
I think it's easier for guys to get away with
flaws.
stuff like that. For women, for us as an actress, you have to. Me as an Pacific Islander, my hair has to look the part. I have to look Asian. So for me, it's a little bit harder because either I'm auditioning to be a Chinese or a Japanese. I don't look either one of them unless I straighten my hair. My hair is naturally curly, so we have to constantly change our looks. And I don't like to have black hair either. It doesn't look good on my skin color. So for guys, I think it's just a little bit easier because you just change it up a little bit.
Yeah. And the thing is I know that even keeping my hair longer and being at my age that I'm sort of pigeonholing myself a little bit because.
How so?
Well, it's not exactly like I'm going to be. Somebody's going to see me, like a casting director is going to go, he should play an executive of a company.
Would you cut your hair if you have to do a role?
Oh, I do probably anything that, for the role, depending on what the role is. But I mean, their first instinct isn't going to look at me and go, he should be, president or CEO of a company. I see that. Now they're going to look at me and say maybe he should be the janitor or the, which I don't mind because it's,
Because he has long hair.
It could be. I don't know. I could be the cabbie that, or the hitman or something like that.
Or the assassin.
I don't. I'm just not. In that way, I'm not. I'm not going to try to. What you call it, market myself as the clean-cut middle-aged guy.
Okay.
I'm just sort of like.
What are you marketing yourself as?
I'm just as the blue-collar regular guy.
Okay.
With
you could play
flaws.
a lot of different roles, just changing your looks a little bit.
I can. If I pull my hair back or cut the stubble off my face or something like that,
You probably look a baby.
I look different. And it's just like anything else. I've always felt myself more of a chameleon than any particular set look.
Yeah. Let's talk about your diet. What do you eat every day? People are always curious, actors. What do they eat? Do they eat like us? Are you in a special diet? How do you watch your weight? How do you gain weight?
Well, it took me a lot to gain weight. It took me medication actually to gain weight, which was I think
you had to go on medication to gain weight.
Yeah, I quit smoking, and we found that one of the side effects from the medication that I use in order to quit smoking actually helped me gain weight.
Okay.
It controlled my metabolism a little better.
Do you like your weight gain now?
I do. I'm a little bit heavier than what I've ever been in my life. A lot heavier than I've ever been in my life. So I just want to make it work somehow.
Do you want to bulk up or you just want to tone?
I just want to tone.
Do you work out?
A little bit, but not nearly as much as I should.
What do you do for a workout?
I started at that
P90X?
P90X thing.
How did that work out?
Not so good.